Hey friends, welcome back to another class. This one is going to be slightly different, where we're going to either meditate or journal on some reflective questions and on questions that's going to set intention for the rest of the year. Now, for context, we are doing this at the end of 2024, heading into 2025, but you can absolutely do this at any time of the year. In fact, you can sub out the year word with month or week or day. So you do this with however fits in with you. Grab a pen and paper if you wanted to journal. And before we begin, let's find a seat. Sit up really tall. I'm sitting up onto a bolster, and you might be on a chair or a block just to lift the hips up slightly, or you might be down on the ground. Let's close down the eyes. Take a deep breath in through the nose. Fill up through the belly, the ribs, and the chest. Deep breath out through the nose or the mouth. Let's try another breath like that. Deep breath in through the nose. Find a little bit more length through the spine, more alertness. Deep breath out through the nose or the mouth. Relax the shoulders. Relax the eyebrows and the eyelids. And taking these next couple of moments just to turn inwards. Noticing how we're feeling today, noticing the texture of the mind, what thoughts are present. But also bringing some awareness to how we're feeling. Any emotions that are present, or any energies that your body or your subtle body is carrying. At the end of the year / the beginning of the year, rather than setting goals or things that I'd like to achieve, what I've been doing for the last couple of years is setting an intention. And that, for me, is a word, maybe 2 words, for how I would like to be in that year. And often it's times because the year that's just been has been missing that quality. So for example, for 2024, my intention was balance as well as fun. And I feel like I got there, and there were moments where I was out of balance and that were not fun. But when you set that word, it kind of sinks into the subconscious, and you might not be present of it throughout the year, but it means that when we move in the world, when we act and react and make decisions, then we tend to have that really subtle, informed decision with that word. And oftentimes those things that we want to achieve or goals we want to head towards, they will naturally come because of this intention. For the next few questions, feel free to keep your eyes closed. We'll also have some time to journal in between each question. So if you had a notebook or something to write down things down on, you might like to get that as well. Reflecting on this year that's been, what word would you have used to describe it? Remember, it might not be 2024, it might not be a full year, it might just be a month. You just replace the time with whatever works in your world. It might be more than one word, but see if you can really saturate it into 1 or 2 words. The last time I did kind of a journaling prompting session like this, some of you commented that it would be helpful if I shared what came up for me. So for me, when I reflect on the year, a word that comes to mind is full. It was a very full year. Not in a bad way though. It was just lots of different things going on that kind of filled up my cup. Lots of work, but also quite a bit of study as well. If you'd like a little bit longer to journal, then feel free to pause the video. Otherwise, we'll head into the next question, which is, what did I learn about myself? What did I learn about myself? You might like to sit and pause before you start to write. And a question that kind of ties into this is, what made me learn something about myself? And that thing could be a person, it could be a literal thing, it could be an experience, it could be a place. Where did I learn most about myself? Like, what was that significant thing? I think for me this year, I learned a lot about myself through my period, which has been really interesting. I've never really had very significant ties to my period. They've been pretty chill. But this year, for whatever reason, that time of the month has been quite intense. And I've noticed it makes me feel quite grumpy, agitated, critical, and I think I've learned a lot about myself and how I relate to the people who are closest to me during that time, but also throughout the rest of the month as well. Okay, next question. What brought me the most joy? What brought me the most joy? It doesn't have to be a big thing, it could be a small thing, just whatever tingles, you feel tingles with, kind of that warmth in the heart center. I think for me, what's brought me a lot of joy this year has been my garden. I've been doing a lot of gardening this year and a lot of development. It's been a great source of creativity and fun, playing with color and textures, and everything I grow is from seed, and so it's so satisfying to see everything, go from a small little seed to something that is full and big and beautiful in its own way. I initially hadn't written this question in, but I thought I would include it anyway, which is, what has brought me the most pain? And that could again be an experience or a person or a thing or ourselves, our mind, our thoughts. For me, this has been a relatively pain-free year, which has been, really nice. But I think what has caused me the most discomfort potentially has been small business. Any other small businesses out there, let me know. You probably understand. For some of you might know, but my kind of how I spend most of my time at the moment is that I do personal training at a gym, which I absolutely love. But there are some challenges with it, and my services are a luxury product, and with many places in the world, money is challenging at the moment for a lot of people, and so being a luxury business, it's been a tough year. But there are lots of freedoms that come with it as well, so it's always that balance. Okay, last question. What one word or two would I like to use to set an intention for the rest of the year? / next year. Just like I said before, sometimes it's because this word or this quality was missing from what has been. And for me, I think this is going to be a year of study, of self-study. I'm doing my meditation teacher training, which is a whole year, and it's going to finish in November 2025. And there's, I think, going to be a lot of looking inwards, of introspection. And I think it's also in that dichotomy, I think I'm trying to find a word to describe this, but I think I'm feeling that pull to stepping into myself, kind of finding that quality of being not necessarily my highest version of self, but I can really feel that quality of being that powerful self, and that everything kind of has aligned and it's just being. Sorry, there was a dog that just walked past. I got very distracted by it. Okay, we'll finish with our eyes closed, sit up a little taller. To finish our practice, let's take 3 deep breaths together. Take a deep breath in through the nose, lift up really tall, belly, ribs, and chest. Deep breath out through the nose or the mouth. Let's try that again. If you want to add in some arms, breathe in, lift the arms up and over the head. Exhale, bring the hands through heart center. One more time, breathe in, lift up. Breathe out, let it go. Thank you so much, everyone. So helpful asking yourself questions and taking time to reflect and to set intention. Let me know how you found it, and have a beautiful rest of your year / beginning of next year. And yeah, I'll see you on the mat very soon.